Valentine's Day just passed. That being said, we come this week to talk about dark and romantic metal songs.
My name is Doc Coyle from the band Bad Wolves and host of the X-Man podcast.
And I'm Zena Coda from Everything's Political.
Today we are joined by drummer Santos Montano of the band Old Man Gloom. And Santos, we're talking about Valentine's Day today, and a little birdie told me that you have a crazy Valentine's Roadburn story.
Roadburn has this aura about it. I don't know how many of you have been to Roadburn on this podcast, but they take it really seriously. The curating of the music, it's very moody and forward thinking, and they choose really great music. And it's not just the same old, really popular, almost retired band headlining. And then they're very thoughtful about it. It's very curated. And that annoyed me. But anyway, so Roadburn in Tilburg in the Netherlands, that's where the festival is. I think it's 2 hours outside of Amsterdam. Anyway, the small kind of quainter city called Tilburg. Yeah, this forward-thinking, very music-focused festival, it annoyed me because it wasn't fun. So about a year before we played it, I had written a whole thing, a Facebook post on the Gloom Facebook page about I was running a comedy night. And we weren't even playing, I wasn't even going, but I made up this whole comedy curated festival that I was doing that was all completely made up. So the Roadburn people kind of liked that I was really trying to make fun of them and how serious they took it. And so I started making jokes about holding a margarita singles mixer at Roadburn, and I wouldn't let it go. And I kept saying it and kept posting that it was happening. And Becky, one of the women who puts on Roadburn, she wrote me and was like, "Hey, just do your stupid mixer. You guys are playing. You can have this room. You can do your margarita singles mixer." And at that point, she totally called my bluff. So I was like, well, great. Now I have to hold the margarita singles mixer at a metal festival. And it was basically just like you'd imagine it was. It was weird and awkward. Nobody really talked to each other. And they all kind of just stood around me and watching me and waiting for me to be fun with them. And so I basically I had to accommodate that. And so I got some stickers and I started just making everybody name tags, but I wouldn't let anybody tell me their name. I just made up what I thought their name should be and was just giving them name tags and drinking a lot. And I gave away some shirts and it was a pretty fun night once everybody got a lot of tequila in them. And I think one couple met and moved in together from the margarita singles mixer. So it was basically a success, but I wanted it to look like Caligula, I wanted it to just be disgusting heavy metal orgy while I don't know, the daughters played upstairs and that did not happen. It was just a lot of very uncomfortable, long-haired dudes, mostly kind of just standing around being like, "Oh, so your last album was not as good as the one before that. Why is that?" I tell you, man, go make out with somebody.
That sounds like sex talk to me, huh?
Foreplay.
That backstage awkwardness. I always feel like people have this misconception of how sexy it is backstage, and this is a groupie's dream. But I don't know. I could smell it right now, right? I could smell this very particular situation.
There's nothing about any green room in the world that connotates sexuality to me. It's just sadness and loneliness and a lot of dudes on laptops. That's
and old men mad.
Yeah, exactly. And chips and salsa.
The only thing that Backstage has ever provided me is a nice, safe place to take a nap.
Yeah.
Legit, just come backstage, great, middle of my work day. Can I sleep on this couch until you guys go on? Thanks.
Doc, I feel like you probably got the good backstage stories. I've seen you backstage a few times.
Yeah, I hear what you guys are saying. I think it is what you make it, okay? A lot of pop stars I know, and some people, they'll do is they'll actually make up their backstages with drapes and candles, and you got to make it cool. You got to put, you got to play music and get in the vibe. It is what you kind of want it to be. And it is the environment. If you want it to be very business-like and very kind of sterile, then it'll be that. And if you want it to be fun and raucous, you could be like Rammstein and have Caligula parties.
So while we're on the topic of romance and orgies and all that good stuff, we're going to talk about the Pit's favorite romantic and sexy metal song. Santos, did you come prepared today with a romantic metal song that you want to talk about and that people need to add to their mixtape?
It's tough with romantic metal songs because like my inclination is to go towards a little bit like on the nose, love songs from 80s metal, like Still Loving You, Scorpions, things like that. I mean, when I think about like what actually gets me in the mood, I think about the fact that I've never truly had a goth girlfriend, which is a real hole in my life. It's a real bummer. But if I did, as a teenager, I imagined this goth girlfriend that I might have, and I listened to Typo Negative Bloody Kisses a lot. And that is like a metal album that is just like, there's something kind of hot about it. It's everything you want out of having a goth girlfriend and like making out in your mom's basement. Bloody Kisses. That's it. That's the one.
Okay, that's true. So first of all, if I'm going to your singles party, I'm also going to look for the only man in the room that looks like Peter Steele. I forgot to throw that in there.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Good luck.
Break out the ruler first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Seriously.
And I mean an exact clone.
You cannot think about romantic metal without thinking about Typo. Like Love You to Death is definitely like candles burning, like you have in your background right now, Santos. You were queuing it up. Like to me, that is like the ultimate like get down and dirty song.
Absolutely. Totally. There's just something about that like Bensonhurst accented vampire voice that just
the piano.
Ooh.
I had to put the Deftones in this, but it was hard to pick one Deftones song because the inclination would be to say Sex Tape, right? But I actually think that You've Seen the Butcher is a way sexier song, especially when you watch like the video, the imagery, just blood. It's, I don't know. To me, that's a great. What about you, Doc? Doc, let's see the romantico inside of you.
I looked at Sex Tape, and the problem with Deftones is the lyrics don't necessarily go with the sound. And I think you're going more for a vibe. And me, I was like, if the lyrics weren't technically a love song, I couldn't pick it. Even if the song sounded sexy, I went with very strict standard of what counts as a love song. And I like with Typo, we all have different songs. I put Be My Druidess on my list because that is the hardest romantic line of all time. It's like if Jamie Joster wrote a love song, it's like, I would do anything. Like it's hard, like it's metal, but it's sexy. It's got it all. But since we already kind of went over Typo, I'm gonna like use this to kind of usher in the other band, which is Typo's heir apparent, in my opinion, the band Him, in a song called Join Me in Death, which I think is the most metal song ever made, in my opinion. Would you die tonight for love? I mean, come on, baby. That's sexy and romantic. It's got it all.
Oh, I didn't even think about Him, to be honest. It didn't really occur to me as a pick, but that Razor Blade Kiss, oh my God. Like that's just like a bang out album on repeat, right?
Exactly. And they coined the term love metal, and the Heartagram, it was their whole jam, had an album called Love Metal. So, that was very obvious to me. Katie, what was your pick?
So in keeping up with the themes of Lupercalia and orgies, I'm going to go with My Girlfriend's Girlfriend because that's a great song. It's about polyamory. It's about dating your girlfriend's girlfriend. And it also has this amazing, like super go-go, like 60s, 70s vibe. It's like very synth heavy. Just such a fun, great song.
And you also have to imagine that like both girlfriends, both of them are like super 90s goth. So that just makes it even better.
Your dream come true, Santos, apparently.
No, two people, I would be too, I can't even handle myself. So that wouldn't work.
Well, there you have it, everyone. This is your next playlist for your next hot date. You heard it here first. Santos, where can the people find you and where can they find Old Man Gloom to keep up with what you got going on?
Old Man Gloom Band on Instagram and Facebook. And we have a Twitter account, but I don't really do anything with it. So that's it. We've got nothing going on. We released 2 records in the pandemic and they've already been forgotten. So let's hope by the time the next world crushing pandemic comes around, we write some new songs.
All right. Sounds good. We'll be on the lookout for that. Zena, where can everyone find you?
You can find me at Zena Coda on all socials, delivering some mind-provoking goodness to you.
And how about you, Doc?
You can find me everywhere at Doc Coyle or my website, www.doccoyle.net.
Be sure to find us on social media and follow us. We Are The Pit on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also follow us on YouTube, Last Words. You can find us across all podcast streaming platforms. If you want to hear the full, raw, dirty, unedited episode, and yes, let me tell you, you do. All right, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get real down and dirty with us. You want to tune in across all podcast streaming platforms to hear the full episode.